You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Diversity Dude podcast, recognized as one of the top 100 diversity inclusion podcasts in the U.S. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist, award-winning author, and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And whether it be through my one-on-one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author or speaker, know that my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. So, today I want to share with you a few thoughts about when cultural opposites attract. Now, as I've mentioned, when I'm not helping professionals build their cultural confidence, I spend my professional time strengthening couples as a marriage and family therapist. And over the past 20 plus years, I've had the pleasure of supporting a variety of couples who've gone on to maintain great quality relationships. Now, I must admit that some of these couples are not what many would assume from the outside would be a relationship that lasts, primarily because of what seems to be like opposites in some way attracting to each other. And while many apps and agencies specialize in helping people find each their romantic match by identifying people who share mostly things in common, there's also something to be said for the fact that whether or not we can predict why this is the case, there are many times when opposites do attract. So, why is this relevant to this Diversity Do podcast? Well, romantic relationships where opposites seem to attract also need to learn to live healthily in relationship with each other. And many of the lessons they need to learn to accomplish are also applicable to our efforts to maintain healthy cross cultural personal and professional relationships when things do not exactly exist the same, when their differences arise. So, if you'd indulge me for a few moments, I'd like to utilize the next few minutes to share a few considerations regarding maintaining healthy cross cultural personal and professional relationships when cultural opposites attract, as well as when they potentially divide. Consideration number one: when things get tough, remember what brought you together. Even in the often divisive and polarizing world, there are times when people see an unmet need in their business in some way, and they see a need to bring in new talent with a new skill set that isn't already on the team in hopes of increasing the team's productivity and effectiveness. The challenge, however, is that while this new addition brings a benefit based on their differences, helping the team meet an unmet need that isn't already being met, they also bring a new set of character traits, habits, behaviors that may not be consistent with the way things are usually done. And it can be easy to try to change those ways, getting them to conform to the usual ways in which things are done. But this not only runs the risk of causing uncomfortable tensions, making them feel unwanted or unvalued for who they truly are, but it also runs the risk of eliminating the very uniqueness that made them attractive as a new hire in the first place. One solution to this challenge is to intentionally remember what it is that brought you together. When you encounter things that are inconvenient, remember that there was something you valued about them that makes it worth getting to know and accepting them for who they are. Essentially, it's a challenge to acknowledge both the pros and the cons, to choose to see the pros as outweighing the cons, or at least worth doing more than just suffering through and enduring them, and at most, learning to appreciate their differences as well. Which brings me to consideration number two, which is don't just accept the inconvenient differences, learn to appreciate them as strengths. Sometimes the word accept conveys a reluctant acknowledgement that despite the ongoing wish that they could change someone else, they will reluctantly accept that they do not have the power to do so, all while feeling like they're suffering through this reluctant acceptance each and every day. This is not the kind of acceptance I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about the kind of acceptance that chooses to accept the things you cannot change. You see, in this way, you acknowledge that what would be more convenient is also alongside of what actually is, and choose to live your best life alongside of that which is. See, this kind of acceptance chooses not to waste time actively trying to remove what is different as if different is automatically the problem, and instead chooses to take steps to view the difference as more than an inconvenience. It can actually be more of a benefit than the problem. With my couples, I love when a planner meets a spontaneous partner, and initially, these opposite appreciations contribute to uniqueness that is brought to their lives. They are intrigued by how the other person lives their life, holding on to the other factors like their personality, their generosity, their family values, laughter, and more. They learn to focus on the similarities and accept the opposite traits, hoping that they just don't get in the way too often. And then there's time to do something like plan a family vacation. One partner creates a 7 day, hour by hour itinerary for how the trip will be maximized and ensures a variety of fun and relaxing experiences. While the other partner suggests they just scrap the plan altogether and take the trip one day at a time. Despite their love for each other, this kind of opposites attract couple scenario has threatened to derail many a couple. Because on one hand, they each seem to want something different, with only one option being a mutual win-lose compromise where somewhere on the trip, one partner gets what they want and the other reluctantly suffers through it. And then later they switch, and the sufferer now has fun and their partner takes on the suffering role. This mutual win-lose scenario looks good on paper, but not with the suffering. One potential modification is to this plan involves each partner taking the time to remember that they both want the same thing, a balance of fun and relaxation. But how they go about it is what's different. They just have different ways, valid ways of accomplishing it. And it's valid because everyone's needs are met in similar as well as different ways. With this in mind, each partner has a chance to get their own need met their way and voluntarily choose to help their partner get their needs met in their way as well. Not only their needs, but if they're not wasting time suffering through what is not, then the planner, for example, can appreciate pockets of play it by ear times and be pleasantly surprised by the fun that they have. And a spontaneous person can similarly acknowledge and appreciate the moments that they know they never would have thought of if they hadn't planned it or if their partner hadn't planned it based on their needs and experiences. In this way, we can all be encouraged to look for ways to accept similarities as well as differences, not as reluctant inconveniences to suffer from our usual way of doing things and or in our way of doing business and interacting with others, but as opportunities to change things up, keep things fresh, and help someone else get their need met, recognizing that your way that meets your needs may not be the same way that others get their needs met as well. Simply put, we can learn that differences can be appreciated more than just tolerated. And then there's consideration number three, encourage others to appreciate differences. With my couples, when breakthroughs are had, I always encourage them to make intentional efforts to build new habits to reinforce their new insights and corresponding feelings. This helps increase the likelihood that it becomes the new normal instead of a positive phase that came and went. Another way to reinforce positive insights is to talk about it and encourage others to do the same. Let's be honest. Some things you can learn from your partner, and other things you learn from friends, or maybe even couple of friends. Not because these people mean more than your partner does, but because it offers a sort of confirmation that reinforces what you and your partner recently discussed and are trying to implement. Similarly, when you have moments of transition from differences are inconvenient to, you know what? It's not only not a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing that they're different because they bring something new to the professional relationship. When you have these moments, then share it. Sharing insights like this can help create a positive environment for that person to be seen for who they are and the positive gifts they offer, and not just their differences. Not only that, but it also reduces the amount of effort they'll have to dedicate to defending the legitimacy of their way and the needs their way helps meet, just because it's different from your way or the needs that you're in the habit of meeting. What's not often talked about is that by sharing your insights, you also reinforce them in your own brain, confirming in your brain what's heard from your own mouth, that differences can be appreciated, not just tolerated in your life. With all that being said, my hope for you is that you will be able to embrace the cultural similarities and differences in your professional relationships rather than appreciating one and reluctantly accepting the other. After all, if you're able to see the benefits of someone bringing something different to the professional relationship table near you, essentially being attracted to an opposite in some way, then don't extinguish that difference by trying to make them like you. The differences between you don't have to be threats to your well being, as long as you both work together to see and value the needs you both meet and support each other's efforts to meet their needs as well as those around you. And with that, I'll say thanks again for listening to today's Diversity Dude podcast. If you found it positive and insightful, then be sure to like it and subscribe so I know which topics you'd like me to share more on in the future and share with a friend so that they can be encouraged as well. To find out how you can cultivate a culturally safe work environment for you and your team, visit lambertsfisher.com/playbook for a free guide. You can also learn more about my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, which offers unique ways to positively address the often divisive topic of diversity, equipping helping professionals like you in your efforts to meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And if you haven't heard it yet, I invite you to visit TED.com and check out my talk called What to Do When You Offend Someone, where I offer a positive and practical perspective on how to navigate unintentional offenses in daily life. To date, it's been viewed over 500,000 times. Check it out for yourself, and if you find it encouraging, share with a friend so that they can be encouraged as well. And as usual, I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in future podcasts to help you improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
Welcome to Old National Bank.
I understand you're all about protection.
Well, we protect you in all kinds of ways, with advanced fraud monitoring and secure digital banking to protect you today, and with dedicated personal bankers to protect your tomorrow.
I'm impressed.
Protection for today and tomorrow.
Could I just...
Oh, go for it.
Old National Bank. Just another reason to get old.
Where'd you get this?
It came with my couch.
When she walked in on her first day at Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas, she didn't know a soul.
I'm Zion, and I'm a second year at DFC.
A year later, and so many changes for Zion.
I love my friends here. I couldn't do anything without them. We support each other all the time.
At Doherty Family College, Zion also finds support on the academic side. Like all DFC students, Zion can count on a team committed to her success. Doherty Family College is Minnesota's affordable private college option. DFC students earn their associate's degree and then can transition to a 4-year college or university for their bachelor's. Many are students of color or first in their family to go to college.
It's nice to see people that look like you pursuing an education, wanting to succeed academically.
Zion encourages any high school student looking for a college home to do what she did and apply to Doherty Family College.
All the support you could need is here.
Ready to make your move and experience Doherty Family College for yourself? Then schedule your visit to the Minneapolis campus at dfc.stthomas.edu/visit.